Steve, the affordable life coach. Been doing it now over 13 years. This is all I do. If you're interested, send me an email. It's in the description. And the prices are ridiculously low. And the consultation's absolutely free, no obligation. And everybody benefits from it. And I encourage you, give it a try. One of the things I notice in, let's call it the self-help, the self-development community, and even just part of our culture, is this unwritten rule and written rule. Actually, it's probably more of a written rule, but I think for a lot of us, it's can be unconscious. This pull and drive and pressure that we need to chase something. We need to fix ourselves. We need to accomplish something. We need to be productive. We need to eat well. We need to exercise more. We need to read more. We need to wake up earlier. We need to get off screens. We need to avoid a plethora of sugar and a plethora of other bad habits. The list goes on. When I watch some YouTube videos about self-help, or I just hear what's in the zeitgeist, there's always a feeling like, oh my gosh, I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. I need to fix this about myself. I need to fix that. And I got involved in self-development at a young age. When I was a teenager, like 13, 14, 15 years old, I was reading these books, and it just became normalized for me that you've got to push yourself. You've got to accomplish things. You have to plan your days and structure your time. And there was it's like a rigidity about it. And I remember I would track as a teenager, I would track in one of those day planners, okay, from this time to this time, I'm doing this, what's now called time blocking. I'm going to do this and this. And if something affected that schedule, I would get no, it's going to put my whole day off. And when I'm coaching people, especially newer clients, one of the things that we work on is to deprogram them from all of this stuff that they've been ingesting, all of this stuff that they feel like will fill that hole, that spiritual hole, or that void in their heart, and that will make them if I am just more disciplined, if I'm just a better version of myself, if I'm just happier and more fulfilled through, and it's usually predominantly through external things. And I even see that creep into my life from time to time. I'll say, as I get older and wiser, I realize the futility of all of that, because even in minimalism, I'm a big believer in minimalism and simplicity, but even that we're chasing something. And we just replace materialism with minimalism. And we hold ourselves to this standard of, I got to get rid of this. I can't buy this. I can't do that. I have to just constantly be just having the mindset I constantly have to be reducing, simplifying, getting rid of. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but does it lead us to contentment? In the end, what are we all after? We're all after just being content, being at peace, being calm, having meaningful connections and relationships with people, doing things that bring us joy, doing things that we find fulfilling, doing things that challenge us. But it's the approach we take keeps us on this perpetual hamster wheel that we just can't seem to get off of. And we feel like there's something wrong. It's just this reoccurring theme. There's something wrong with me and I need to fix it. And when I'm coaching clients, one of the biggest breakthroughs or aha moments not all clients, so some clients are just completely resistant to this idea. But the ones that kind of like are open to this, and it's just I really believe I bring a very unique and different perspective that you rarely get anywhere else. And one of the things is people think when they hire a life coach, it's going to be, oh, I'm going to have to do goals, I'm going to have to do habits, I'm going to have to be disciplined, I'm going to have to, you know, work really hard and be productive and, you know, yada, all these things. I'm like, no, that's the opposite of what the goal is. In when I'm coaching people, the goal is contentment. The goal is finding your spiritual core. The goal is not getting immersed in the world and keeping yourself somewhat separated from the world, and having that deep inner calm beneath the surface in the ocean when when the storms and the chaos is above us. It's much more important to do the, and I say this in so many videos, and I just think a lot of people don't get what I mean, and I know it's hard because it's very abstract, but start with just the inner and working inside out. Start focusing on the inner core and stop using pressure and fear and a scarcity mindset and pushing yourself and I have to do this and I have to do that. Stop chasing things. We're constantly chasing things in order to feel whole, and it doesn't work, because the moment you get that thing, something new pops up. We're human beings, there's always going to be something that's wrong with us. And the aha moments that I'm able to take some of my clients down this path is accepting their weaknesses, accepting their insecurities, accepting their fears, accepting that, hey, you know, it's not terrible to, you know, some of my male clients are into no more Mr. Nice Guy. I got to be tough. I got to be alpha. I got to be authoritative. I got to be confident. I got to be bold. I got to be like a lion. And I'm like, that's not you. That's not your character. You're a nice guy. Now, maybe we could tweak it so you're not people pleasing and kissing ass and saying things that you don't really feel, but you could still be a nice guy and be authentic. And why don't we focus on that? But it's like a leopard trying to change their spots. That's what we're doing, and it robs us of the present moment of enjoying our lives exactly as they are. You know, I think what a lot of people seek is freedom, is happiness, is accomplishment, is approval, is success, is financial riches, fame, popularity. Why isn't anyone chasing having a boring, fulfilled life? I never have had a client call me and say, Steve, you know what? What I really want is I want to accept myself exactly as I am. I want to embrace and not even love themselves, because I'll get clients say, well, I need to love myself. No, it's not natural for us to be able to constantly do battle with that inner critic that's beating us up, or all the forces that tell us we're not good enough. But especially that harsh judge, you can't turn off that voice. It's kind of like that voice is there to keep us in check. That voice is there to try to protect us. That voice is there to try to encourage us. But we look at that voice as like it's constantly whipping us. So like, you don't even need to love yourself. The whole self-esteem is, to me, is such a crock of BS, because what we want is a cheap way to feel good about ourselves. Oh, if I read a book, and I'm not saying if this works for you, please do it. But I'm just saying this is often an artificial way to get something that you're not really seeking, or it's not really going to heal you. You know, like the affirmations and the gratitude journal and being positive. All those things have a place, but they're not addressing the underlying core issue. The core issue is we have a spiritual void. We have a spiritual emptiness, and we keep on trying to put a square peg in a round hole to try to fix it. And then we think, oh, no, I need a different square peg to put it in, and then that'll fix it. Or I need more square pegs. Or if I just try hard enough, I'll be able to get that square peg in the round hole. And we live in a very materialistic culture and world that is blinded to the simplicity and the transformation and rejuvenation of a spiritually centered life. And a spiritually centered life is very peaceful. It's very calm. And it's almost like it's the opposite of what we're taught. It's the anti-motivational philosophy or way of living. Because when you're spiritually content and you fill that void with the spiritual path that you seek out, it's like you don't need to chase all those stuff. You don't need to burden yourself with a never-ending to-do list or habits or I have to change this. It's like you're superpowered from the inside and not trying to force yourself to do things that you're resistant to or you don't really want to do. And you get like intuitive guidance. I get clients, I'll ask them, well, what does your intuition say? And I'm amazed. I don't know. I'm so disconnected from my intuition. Well, of course we're disconnected because we're constantly busy, distracted, listening to, like, even I have clients that have difficulty just sitting in silence and just being with their thoughts and being with their emotions and connecting with them. We don't do that. We suppress, we stuff, and we distract. And there was a study that like 2/3 of I think university students, male university students, it was a little bit lower with females, would rather give themselves mild electrical shocks than sit and just be alone, undistracted, and not doing anything. I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy when you go out in the world and you see everybody on their phone, everybody, with the AirPods, and I'm guilty of it as well, but I really try to have some balance and get some quality time to just self-reflect and be with my thoughts. And it robs us of connecting with spirit and connecting with intuition. And I'm not talking about in a new age way. I'm talking about like something real and concrete that just emboldens you, empowers you, and guides you, and fulfills you, and infuses you with courage and that inner calm confidence. It's absolutely incredible. And when you start feeling that way, you'll notice like, oh my gosh, I'm not so as motivated as I used to be, because I don't need to chase a million different things in order to fix myself, in order to feel fulfilled, or I have to travel halfway around the world to find myself or to feel like life is exciting or adventurous. You just find contentment in your everyday humdrum, boring life. And I'm not saying you sit on a couch and do nothing, but just like the simple things bring you joy. Just even like today, I was walking and a stranger just gave me the nicest smile as I was passing. And I was like, that made my day. Just that simple smile. And you realize that what the world is bombarding with us is crap. It's BS. It's a method to try to control and manipulate us, to get us to feel like we're not good enough and that we need to buy things, we need to do things, we need to accomplish things. It's gotten to the point where like some of these, a lot of these YouTube videos, the self-development YouTube, I'm like, it's insane. If I were to follow these principles of the YouTube video, I would be busy and productive and eating perfectly and exercising and reading tons of books and and accomplishing things and setting goals and habits and blocking out my time throughout the whole day. It's like, when do we get time to just be human, to live in a state of flow, to be organic, to listen to our intuition on, okay, this is what I want to do. Like, be less rigid, just be flexible, and be, most importantly, just be fulfilled and content with very little. And when I say very little, in Western countries, we have such an abundance. We don't have to, generally, we don't have to worry about food. I mean, most people have phones and computers and a roof over their head. And we just don't, we take for granted all the things that we have. And it's a disease of always wanting more, always chasing something else. If you're single, you want to be in a relationship. I have clients who are in relationships who want to be single. It's like, it's madness what we do to ourselves. And the very thing we need is just learning how to be okay with who we are, where we are, how we are in the present moment. And that really sets you free. And then you can go, okay, I'm not motivating myself out of fear or pressure or guilt or shame. I'm motivating myself from a place of like serenity, a place of love, a place of joy, a place of just acceptance, a place of gratefulness and gratitude. And even just simple things, just like breathing, brings like, just a, I mean, just try that. Like 3 deep breaths just brings, life is good. Life is calm. Everything's going to be okay. And I can live in the world without being part of the world and getting caught up in cult thinking. And it's just everywhere. There's so much cultural, political controversies and drama, and this like a cowboy. They want to rope you in into all the chaos, and you could still take a stand. You could still stick to your values. You could still be authentic and still be serene and still be joyful and just happy to wake up in the morning for another beautiful day and learning about, hey, what am I going to learn today? How am I going to grow today? How am I going to become more accepting of who I am? How am I going to become more accepting of other people and less judgmental? Whatever it is. But you just go with this kind of mindset. You just kind of float through life instead of feeling like you're rowing upstream. I have clients and they're like constantly overwhelmed. And I even struggle with overwhelm. I made a video at the beginning of the year, just like getting overwhelmed. And it's like the influx of information and data and things we have to manage and worry about and be responsible for. It's like, it's constantly coming at us, and we just want to build a dam. Hey, this is my wall, this is my dam, and this is how I protect myself. And I'm very selective about what I let into my universe because I don't need much. And if I start exposing myself to all this stuff from pop culture, whether it's the music or the movies or the TV show or social media or the internet, you're going to get corrupted. And you're going to not like yourself because you're going to compare yourself to other people, or you're going to get inundated with stuff that fools you into believing, X, Y, and Z will make you happy. It just takes so little to be content. It really does. And then it just, you start finding, I want to do these things. I don't have to pressure myself. I actually want to do these things. I want to go for a walk, or I want to go to the gym, or I want to reach out to somebody I haven't talked to for a while, or I want to read a book, or I want to eat healthy foods. And sometimes you're not going to want to do it, and that's okay, and you haven't failed, and then you quit and you beat yourself up and get discouraged. It's just it's a gentle, loving, kind, accepting, peaceful approach to life that goes so contrary to everything we've been taught. And basically just unplug, man. Unplug from the system. unplug from this matrix. It's the indoctrination starts at a very young age. You got to go to school. You got to get really good grades. And I'm not saying drop out of school, but man, you could get such a good education just by reading books, just by having life experiences, teaching yourself things. But we're so indoctrinated. You gotta get a car. You gotta get a house. You gotta whatever. You fill in the blanks, and we just kind of get this locked into the system. And in my video, the Life Sucks video, it's my most popular video, and people miss the message. If the whole message of that video is life does suck. Like, we don't like who we are. There's political chaos. There's cultural chaos. There's material chaos. There's environmental chaos. There's a constant feeling of discontentment. Like, why do you want to be part of that? As you unplug, you realize, oh, I can create my own little oasis and not be dependent on what does or doesn't happen. And it's just really weaning yourself off of the world, weaning yourself off of approval and caring what people think. And it's so accessible. It's so accessible to everyone without having to need a lot of money or to do a lot of work or to make a lot of changes. And it's just a freer way to live. And if this resonates with you and you'd like help on this path, send me an email. It's in the description. Again, consultation is absolutely free with ridiculously low coaching prices after that. If you like these videos and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. And please consider supporting the channel. There's a PayPal link if you want to make a donation to help the work that I do here. And I appreciate this type of content. It has a very small appeal to a very small group. I don't know. It's probably like meeting the people who think like this is probably, 1% of the population? I mean, it's so small. But if we don't advertise who we are, we're never going to connect with like-minded people. And the connections are so much deeper and richer when you meet people who get this, who've like awakened to the reality and seen all the BS that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. So protect your senses, protect your soul, stay away from all the garbage that in the division and judging people on superficial criteria. Look at the heart, look at the soul, look at the values of people. That's what matters, and that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us joyful, is being in alignment with our values. All right, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and please love your comments, and you can give me constructive feedback if you disagree or if you agree, or if you have been able to apply this in your life, and how so. And it is a lonelier path, let's be honest, but when you realize these things, you're not as needy for companionship that's not rich and deep. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.